From SwissWatchExpo, spotlight on different kinds of watch case shapes and how they can suit your personal style. How well do you know your watch shapes? The dial is where the watch can be its most expressive, but one can say it's the case that really forms its identity. Some shapes lend themselves well to tool and robust timepieces, while others were made for dressier, more formal watches. We all know the round and rectangle shapes, but the next time you're shopping for a watch, you may just encounter a tonneau or a cushion. Here's a rundown of the most common watch shapes that every watch lover should know. This shape needs no introduction. Round watches are by far the most common and most popular, and with good reason. The round shape was first recognized and worn on the wrist in the 19th century by the early pioneers of the wristwatch world, the Europeans. Reading the time from this shape is intuitive, and so is migrating it from the pocket to the wrist. The shape offers an easy way to incorporate complications on the dial without making it too cluttered. The design is also versatile enough to go from dressy to sporty, and to host different designs, from minimalist to embellished. The round shape is also conducive for water resistance, as the case can be screwed tight. The organic shape has many advantages. No wonder it's the most popular shape for watches, and will remain so for a long, long time. Mostly used for avant-garde and sporty watches today, the square watch sees a resurgence every few decades. A popular style in the 1920s to 1930s, the style was common on slim, elegant dress watches from haute horology brands like Audemars Piguet and Vacheron Constantin. The square made a comeback in the 1960s, with companies like Tag Heuer utilizing the shape for sport watches. It also helped that the likes of John F. Kennedy and King of Cool Steve McQueen were often seen rocking the look. Square watches have made a notable resurgence as watchmakers look to their archives and pay homage to that era in watchmaking. Since the round watch remains very much popular, choosing a square watch makes a strong statement. Enjoying this video so far? Subscribe to our channel and get updates on new videos. Like the square watch, rectangular ones are associated with the early 20th century. The first models made their appearance during the Art Deco era, and the prosaic beauty of the movement always came hand in hand with rectangle watches. It's believed that Louis Cartier was the first to popularize the shape, with the launch of the iconic Cartier tank. Released in 1917, the tank has a shape inspired by the Renault tanks used in World War I. The tank may not be an exact rectangle, but it proved to be so influential that many other watchmakers of the time followed suit. Jaeger-LeCoultre, Hamilton, and Girard-Perregaux also produced rectangular designs, making the shape incredibly popular during the early decades of the 20th century. One can think of cushion-shaped watches as a cross between the square and the circle, that is, squarish with bowed-out edges. An adaptation of the rounded shape, the cushion shape augments the look and size of the watch case. It is also thought to give watches a more utilitarian look. That's why it's more popularly used in sport or tool watches. The shape is most commonly associated with the Panerai Radiomir watch, which first appeared in the 1940s. Created especially for the Italian Navy, the thick, cushion shape of the watch supported the larger movement needed for a dive watch back then. Tonneau is the French word for barrel, and it describes watches whose top and bottom edges are straight, but whose sides are bursting. One can think of it as the elongated version of the cushion shape. A shape introduced by Vacheron Constantin in 1912, the Tonneau shape was first used in dress watches and was employed to give timepieces some Art Deco vibes. The Tonneau style eventually became common on chronographs and dive watches from the late 60s and early 70s. It continues to be an easily recognizable shape today. The Audemars Piguet Royal Oak watch is the undisputed pioneer of the octagonal or 8-sided case shape. The Royal Oak was a trailblazer during its time, and it sure looks modern until today. It's hard to see octagonal watches being released these days, as it has become the signature of the Royal Oak. Any other watch won't even come close. Then, there are watch shapes that are very hard to define. While most watches fall under the realm of round and rectangular shapes, some watchmakers have created futuristic, unconventional designs. The advent of the bold, irregularly shaped watch may be traced back to the Hamilton Ventura, as well as the other Richard Habib watch designs from the 50s. Other great examples of avant-garde styles are the Rolex Cellini Midas, Cartier Crash, and the Omega Bullhead. All have thrown convention out of the window and made watches that won't be forgotten even decades from now. Round, rectangular, or even out of this world, there's sure to be a watch case that will suit one's taste. Which watch case shape do you find yourself wearing most often? Tell us in the comments section. Want to learn more about watches? Click on the upper right screen for our Watch Guides playlist. Don't miss out, we launch 2 videos weekly on the best and the latest in watches. To get updates, subscribe to our YouTube channel.